All right, we are back, and while the entire MMA world wants to be talking about anything other than MMA, they want to be acting like a bunch of high schoolers, I thought we could actually talk about an upcoming fight, Rob Font versus Deiveson Figueiredo, since this week was completely dead in the world of MMA. I know that the PFL happened, but it's honestly hard to find anyone who actually watched that thing. So good work to the PFL buying Bellator, but once that has actually settled down, in the next year or two, could we please figure out a way to stream that better? Try and make your own version of Fight Pass. Maybe we'll talk about that in a completely different video. Let's talk about this, right? Rob Font is currently the favorite going into his fight with Deiveson Figueiredo, Deiveson's bantamweight debut. Now, it's wild to see how much things actually swing in MMA. Like, I still have vivid memories of Rob Font having the living piss beaten out of him by Martin Cheetah Vera, like Krillin in any Dragon Ball Z episode, yeah? But now, here we are today in 2023, and he is up against a former UFC champion, Deiveson Figueiredo, and he was a UFC champion only in 2022. Now look, it was barely the start of 2022, but he was still a champion in 2022 anyway. He's 10-3 in the UFC, and 2 of them were to another former champion, Brandon Moreno. And yet, still, Rob Font is coming in as the favorite. I'm honestly shocked by that. I'm nearly as shocked as the Disney executives are that no one is interested in the new Marvels movie. But I am really surprised at this. To me, Rob Font is a good boxer in the UFC. He's one of those well-rounded MMA fighters who heavily relies strongly on one section. That's his stand-up game, right? But as we've seen, he can be pieced up. He's not the fastest bantamweight or the most powerful, but he's good. He's decent. He's really good. He's like the late night burger joint that stays open till 3 a.m. You know, it's not the best, but it's still pretty good. You'd order it sober even during regular dining hours. That's Rob Font, a pretty good burger. So there's the thing. We're saying he's, in the top 80% of bantamweight, and yet that is somehow saying that he's better than a man who stood at the top of flyweight for years. I think what we're seeing here with Rob Font coming in as the favorite is the numbers and the money is starting to take into account the age of Deiveson Figueiredo. Unfortunately, bantamweight is a young man's game, and the killer at that weight class is the speed, right? Look, at heavyweight or at light heavyweight, you can lumber on into your 40s. Glover Teixeira just showed us that by winning a UFC title at 42 years old. But at the lower weight classes, 35 is pretty much the retirement home. Am I wrong here? And if you are going to outclass Rob Font on the hands, you need speed. And speed, much like we've talked about with Tony Ferguson and David Goggins, speed is a young man's gift. You can still have the mind for MMA. You can still have brilliant shot selection. I mean, hell, even cardio. I don't think anyone is going to question Deiveson Figueiredo's cardio going into this fight. I think his cardio is still going to be there. And not only that, his power should be there too, right? I mean, he's the one moving up a weight class. But it is just that speed and that age that is going to slow him down. And in those shot-for-shot moments with Rob Font, that could be the thing that puts Deiveson Figueiredo flat on his ass. Now, I am saying all this like it's some sort of hot take, but clearly it isn't. The betting line is right there. The betting line seems to be siding with Rob Font. Maybe we're just being the dumb money here though. Maybe Deiveson has been looking for this fight up a weight class for a long time. His mentality, his motivation are on a different level. He's finally not fighting Brandon Moreno anymore. He's finally getting to do that move up that he's wanted to do for ages. Has that old dog got the eye of the tiger in him again? And can he put it on Rob Font? I mean, Deiveson's biggest issue in flyweight was that he had to kill himself just to be there. He had to kill himself to make that weight. That's going to have an effect on your ability to take shots on the chin. So I am this image I'm having of Figgy being dropped might not be so easy for Rob Font to achieve now that he's in the right weight class for his age and the time of his career. And since that weight cut isn't going to be there, we could say that Figueiredo is coming in stronger and more mentally ready to put damage onto Rob Font. That is why it's such an intriguing matchup. That's why, even though Rob Font is coming in as the favorite, it's nearly 50-50. There's no reason that our whole community is torn on who to pick on this one. So let me know, who are you going to be picking going into this fight? Because my mind is still not quite made up. If you're still here watching this video, that means maybe you've been entertained in some way. Maybe I've given you a different perspective to think about. So before you go and click on to your next video, if you could do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button down there, it means so much to small content creators like myself. And if in the future you're seeing my content pop up on your feed and you're not liking it anymore, that's fine. You can always click unsubscribe. It's all good with me. But do let me know down in the comments, who do you think is going to win this fight and why? Is there something that I'm not seeing here? Let me know. If you're enjoying these videos, go ahead, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one.